welcome back to another episode of the Phantom Experience. I'm here with my guy, DJ Phon, and Gordon Jupiter. How y'all doing today?
Good. Doing good, man.
Great.
Thankful to be here.
Nah, man, another day, another dollar. Like I said, I always like to ask people on a scale of 1 to 10 how they feeling. So, for you?
Probably an 8.
An 8?
Pretty good. That's solid. If I could run with an 8 every day, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yourself?
I run with a 10. You know me. D.
I knew you were going to say 10.
I'm usually always
as long
on
as
that.
you get in the gym, right?
Yeah. As long as I'm usually on a high, get through my routine. As long as I get my routine done in the morning, everything's pretty smooth from there. So I'd say a high 10. How about you?
Yeah, I'm like a 7. I've been sick, 7. I've been kind of sick, but it's crazy.
I walked outside and then I'm like, where's this stuffy nose from? It must be allergies or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's been random because it just happened. I started getting sick like on Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's because I've been reading this book and it was like talking about just a whole bunch of shit. And it's like, somebody's sick and you like mentally you tell yourself that you're sick, you're gonna be sick more. So I've been trying to tell myself I'm not that sick. And then luckily I feel better today. So, I don't know.
It's all about the mindset, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're here, man.
I'm glad we could get this today, man.
Yep.
So like I said, you're a DJ.
Yeah.
How is it in the DJ and the nightlife for you?
It depends. Like, how is it is kind of broad question.
Right.
Lifestyle wise, I think it's great. Personally, I like to command my own hours. I like to, there's a hustling aspect that I really appreciate, and what you get paid is directly up to you.
Like that.
And so whatever you're bringing to the table is a reflection on how you're approaching it 100%. And if you want more, you could do more, and you could try to justify that, or you want less. I don't know who would want that, but
Right.
directly reflected on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's more of an entrepreneur mindset that you kind of go with.
Absolutely.
That's nice. That's nice. So would you say a lot of DJs kind of got to go towards the entrepreneur mindset if they're, trying to pursue what they want?
I mean, you're a business. It's like, what is it? I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
I'm a business.
Who said that? Jay-Z or Lil? I feel like Jay-Z.
Right.
Lil
It's
Baby.
Jay. It's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
It's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And absolutely, like, I've got to think that way, and I think any other DJ that really doesn't think that way needs to find someone to think that way for them, which is, also an option, but you just kind of have to get to that point.
Right.
You have to be so good as a creative to where you can kind of pawn off that other job that you would otherwise have to fill.
Got you.
Yeah.
Well, explain that. Like, what do you mean by that? You have to pawn off the other job that you like. What does that mean?
Okay, so eventually, right, let's just say I'm a painter, right? I don't know shit about business, but I paint really fucking good, right? And at some point, someone's got to buy your shit, right? And most likely, when you're starting out, you're trying to commission work and or sell off your own things that's not commissioned work, right? But eventually, you're going to get so big, and so many people are trying to hit you up, or these pieces are selling for so much that you're like, I don't really know how to approach this. I don't know how to price this. This has gone much bigger than what I thought. Because what I focused on for the last X amount of years is being a creative person. So and business is a practice. You can't just be good at business. You have to slowly pick up the steps or read a book or whatever, right? It's all a process. So if you devote 95% of your time to being a creative and 5% to being a businessman or a businesswoman, you're going to be really dog shit in business.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
find somebody who's really good at business, and they can do that business side for you. And that's not
Absolutely.
not something that you have to worry about. I do believe in expanding so much on something to a point where you have to divvy up jobs, because if you can't build yourself a team, there's going to be a finite amount that you can grow.
Absolutely. So you noticed that you were more creative on a creative tip more than a business tip.
I don't know. I'm pretty well balanced now.
Okay.
I haven't reached a part in my career where I need to kind of like pawn off a bunch of work to be like, I need an agent, I need a manager, I need this, I need that. I'm not putting like the cart before the horse. Like I, as the horse, need to keep working
Wow.
And if the cart gets way too big, then I'll get another horse to help me pull.
There you go. I like that.
That's a great analogy.
I like that. I like that. I like that. So yeah, because that's where I feel like a lot of creative people get, in the mix. Because it's like most people either have a creative mind or a business mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So trying to combine both is where the artistry kind of gets a little, it gets a little struggle there. At that
for
point.
For sure. I mean, it's not a guy that knows everything, and honestly, some of the most talented people on earth are generally really good at one or two or three things.
Right. Right.
It's just
Team
time.
does the rest.
So when did you realize that music was something that you were in tune into or caught your eye?
I mean, I've always kind of listened to a lot of random different shit since I was like a baby.
That's a sign.
Yeah. And so, mom listened to one thing, brother listened to one thing, sister listened to another thing, and then I listened to my own thing, friends listened to another thing. And so I always kind of pieced it all together, and I was always a history nerd, so just kind of looking at it chronologically, and this led to this, to this, to that. I mean, there's always something that somebody's like, at this point, nobody's really original anymore.
Right.
And that's partly true, right? It's because
is.
you're influenced by something.
You are.
Facts.
This is
Yeah.
very true.
And
It's very
so
true.
I'm influenced by all the things I've listened to growing up and to this day. And so when did I kind of decide that music wanted to be my life? I was in college.
What college did you go to?
I went to U of H. Go
U of
Cougs.
H. U of H.
Major.
I heard it's a good school.
Yeah, it's a great school. I got a double degree. So
Could never go there.
And you're originally from where, Phon?
I was born in Orange County.
Orange County.
Yeah, and I moved here when I was 10, so I've been here for 20 years.
Well, you said you were a double major in what?
I have a double degree. It's
And
different. I worked hard.
I'm sorry.
I worked hard to get a second piece of paper. I have a 1 degree in history, and then I have 1 degree in
How
philosophy.
do you feel about college for the world, Phon? How do you feel about college?
Now,
Yeah.
when I went in 2010, I think we were kind of on that cusp where it was like, yeah, you probably have to go to college to make a living. Probably. And then I think 5 years later, everybody was like, yo, you don't need college for shit.
Yeah.
Like, I got boys that make 6 figures fresh out of high school. It's crazy. And he's a photographer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a guy who never once stepped foot into college, and he's making a healthy 6 figures. And I know that guy one day is going to make 7 figures. The access to information is so easy that you don't need a degree to make money. Right. What you do need a degree for is maybe to be licensed for something. Right. Like I need to be.
Or you want to be a doctor, a lawyer.
Yeah. You have to have a particular profession in mind.
Right.
Before. That's how I feel about college now.
What tip could you give a young man going into college right now? Next year, starting college.
Or for me, I'm in college right now,
Okay.
and I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's probably because you don't know what you want to do, right?
Partially. I just don't care about what I'm doing. I mean,
Yeah, then
listen
don't
more
do
from
it.
my mom.
I mean, like, why? This is why I chose to be a DJ. Why am I going to wake up and do something I'm not going to do? I got one fucking life to do it.
Because it's hard when you have
point.
like parents that are like from a foreign country and like
I totally understand. My mom.
no, exactly.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
you would understand where I'm coming from.
Absolutely.
Or not even foreign countries, just parents who want you to go to college, and if you don't go to college, they see it as like you disobeying them in a sense.
Parents lived a life and in a generation that is so far removed from us
Exactly.
that they don't quite understand. But if you put it in a mindset like, look, okay, what are some things that maybe my parents thought were forward thinking, but their parents didn't think that?
Right.
I don't know what your family dynamic is. I don't know where it is kind of like socially. Like, in your family, do both of your parents work?
Yes.
Yeah. Probably back in their parents' generation and their parents' parents,
Only one parent worked.
only one fucking parent worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's fucking backwards as hell. Why can't the wife work?
Yeah.
Right? Why, or the husband? Or, why can't, the wife be the breadwinner and the husband stay at home and take so like spin it off like that.
Very good
Guys,
point.
things were different 20, 30, 40 years ago. And we are steadily kind of growing at a pace where
Yeah.
anything can really happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I say anything can fucking happen. We are in a day and age where some 10-year-old kid can open up an egg and he makes millions of dollars, and I'm grinding it out every motherfucking day.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't even make a fraction of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very true. And that's the beauty of change. You know, change for 20, 30 years, things are going to change. You know, how we get groceries, how we get basic necessities, you know, chargers for our phones, new cases.
Yeah.
We have Amazon Prime. We just click a button and it's front of our doorsteps in a day, you know. Things, you got to change with time, you know, so that's a big thing for me.
I imagine your parents' primary concern is this motherfucker gonna have to move back into my house? Or do I have to worry about
Yeah,
this?
I think it's more financial.
Yeah, do I have to worry about this kid? I told my mom, I think it was like I was almost done with my junior year, and I told my mom, I was like, look, I want to be DJ, and she's like, okay, and I was like, look, I did the numbers. This is what I could make. I'm very confident that I could at least make this.
So you did do the numbers. You did calculate.
You have to, right? You can't.
That's the key.
I mean, honestly, this ties back into my childhood. My uncle said, do whatever you love, right? As long as you love it, you'll work really hard at it and you'll make the money. He's like, I've known trash people to make more money than I have. And he's a fucking pharmacist, right? And so you have to think about the numbers ultimately. Can I put food on the table for myself and potentially my family?
A calculated risk.
Yeah.
Okay, what about something like what about an industry that takes long for you to grow in? For instance, like podcasting, and you don't just blow up overnight. Like it may take like years until you finally start seeing revenue come in.
As long as you want to take a bet on yourself and you can stomach that risk.
Yep.
Because I'm going to ask you, it might not be tomorrow. It might not be a month from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now. Are you willing to ride that until you need to ride that till? Because oftentimes people quit right when they're on the cusp of blowing up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so I ask you that, if you were to ask me, are you going to ride out the life of being a DJ the rest of your life? Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And, you know, there was a time when I worked 3-4 jobs and then I was like, okay, I think I got a point in my DJ career where I can pay at least all my bills. Maybe not save money, but I can pay all my bills doing this shit, right?
That's
and
a risk.
And it wasn't much.
That's a risk.
But I was like, all right, I'm working 4 jobs. If I just do this one thing, right, and I jump ship and just do this one thing, then I'll probably get more gigs, right, and then be able to save some money and pay my bills. And then just grow on that and that and that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there.
So I ask you, you know, what if, and you ask me, what if it takes a long time? Are you willing to take a long time?
Yep. That's the question.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean,
How long?
it's hard. It's hard when you're like going through it, but like when you like you said, like when you love something, you kind of like, I guess you gotta take that risk.
Yeah.
Especially if you love it. Like,
But sure, you love it. Find a way to monetize it. I mean, you know, like do whatever you need to do to put food on the table for yourself now. And I'm sure as shit, if you're able to start making a fair amount of money, you show up with that paycheck and you show your parents, like, what did I tell you?
Right.
yeah.
And then, because, you know, money talks, right? If that's what they're worried about, and they're worried about you bringing in money,
Yeah.
bring in the money.
And a lot of people focus on the outcomes, right? But it's like when you make it to where you want or you start getting that buzz that you're looking for, people know when you're genuinely in love with what you do or you're not. When
Yeah,
you
for
make
sure.
it to that point.
For sure. I know a lot of DJs that just work for a paycheck, and it shows.
See? It shows. I saw a skit on Instagram the other day with Wiz Khalifa at Poppy, this club called Poppy in Las Vegas. Dude slapped the DJ's hat off his head.
Yeah, I've seen it.
His album dropped that night.
Yeah.
Album dropped that night. DJ was
weak as fuck.
He just went crazy.
He later apologized though, but
It was that. That's kind of like this. I think this was in Dallas, actually.
talking about that incident.
Yeah.
Was it? I know. I think it was a club called Poppy. I'm not too sure where.
It's okay, somewhere, right? That, I guess moot point, right?
Yeah.
I do know as far as I know, you know, maybe DJ didn't have everything on deck, his fault. But I think he was more upset about the MC. As he was performing songs, the MC kind of like was like MCing over Wiz, and then Wiz was getting frustrated and just taking it out on the DJ.
Oh,
So I think it's a lot of parts, moving parts in that story.
Okay. Moving on that. Like when you do get a guest appearance, you know, someone from, you know, higher status celebrity, they come in. How do you accordingly, like, how do you prepare for that night? Like what is DJ Phon going through?
I mean, you could only prepare as best you can, right? But let's say, you know, let's say Travis is in, right? I'm going to have every single album that I know. There's going to be deep cuts that, you know, he put out a single fucking 20 years ago that I'm not going to fucking have. I don't, you know, like,
right.
But I'm going to have his major shit, right?
Yeah, I did see that too. You did DJ for Travis. I remember on Chase's birthday. I remember you was right on there with DJ Rogers. I was there that night.
How was that experience? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I mean, I'd done a couple things for Travis before.
That's like one of my favorite artists.
Four different shows where I ran his shit. That one in particular, Travis wasn't like performing per se, and it was just Rogers DJing, and I was just there to help out.
Yeah.
If some shit happened, which some shit did happen on Rogers' laptop, I was able to bail him out.
Oh,
that's all it really was.
What happened on the laptop?
Some shit froze, and he's like, I can't get the song. And I was like, well, do this or that, and then we'll plug in mine, and then I would play it off mine, then you can go back to yours.
Boom. How tech savvy does a DJ have to be?
I will say your life gets a lot easier if you're more in tune with the tech.
Gotcha.
Right? You got to know what you're DJing on.
For sure.
I know a lot of guys that, let's say you bring your Roadcaster, right? And you bring it around and you sit into another person's podcast and you drop it down and you're like, all right, let's use this. They're like, well, no, we're going to use our equipment. And then you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know how to use your equipment. And they're like, but this is the industry standard, right? This right here is the industry standard. You need to know how to use this. Well, no, fuck that. Either I'm going to fucking, you know, use my Roadcaster Pro or, you know, y'all can go fuck yourselves, right? And they're going to be like, okay, well, we're the big podcast, and you're this new guest, so you can go fuck off, right? Yeah, I've seen a lot of DJs think that they're the fucking headliner, walk into a state-of-the-art club, not know how to use the industry standard. And when I say industry standard, it is across almost every single club that's worth a shit everywhere in the world. And they'll be like, nah, I'm going to use my equipment. And the sound guy is going to be like, all right, guess you're not playing. You know, like, and that's the DJ's fault for not being up to date with the tech,
right?
Not being up to date with, you know, certain drivers that need to be installed or certain cables that you need to have,
right?
And then they're gonna complain, this club's stupid.
Yeah.
Who really is the stupid one, right?
Yeah.
You're the DJ, right?
They don't know
you're the DJ, and let's say, for example, I only got Cash App to pay you. And you're like, I don't got Cash App. And they're like, well, all right, guess you're not getting paid.
Right.
You're going to have every damn form of payment to get your bread, right?
Facts.
You're going to have Zelle. You're going to have Cash App. You're going to have Venmo. You're going to have Apple Pay, PayPal. You're going to fucking have everything.
100%.
So that you can get your money. Why don't you know every single piece of tech that you should know, right? Arguably should know, so that you can DJ anywhere and everywhere. And if you can't, and if you can only DJ on one thing, probably not a very good DJ. That's just my 2 cents.
I like that. Tell me, Phon, tell me a little bit about ego. What would you say about DJs with a lot of ego, or how would you say you should deal with ego as being someone who's trying to upcome and make a name for yourself?
All right, so you're asking about the guy who's up and coming, right? And
absolutely.
And so up and coming is a kind of a gray area. But I think, like, you need to know your worth, right?
Number one.
You need to know your worth. Are you an X amount of DJ? Are you a 3X amount of DJ? Are you 4X, 5X, whatever, right? And you probably need to sit there and, like, am I justifying what I'm asking for money-wise, right? Is my name drawing that? Is my name making them in X amount of dollars,
Right.
and I cost an X amount of dollars. You kind of ask those questions, like, then you can kind of literally evaluate what your value is.
100%.
But if in your brain you are, my favorite DJ is DJ Mr. Rogers, right? If you're in your brain, DJ Mr. Rogers, right? But you're sitting and DJing at, 45 and Tidwell, whatever, at a bar that, nobody really gives a fuck about.
Right.
Are you going to go ask for Mr. Rogers' rate?
Right.
No, but if in your head it's that, then I think you're going to have a rough time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think ego needs to be checked daily, weekly, monthly. And,
Yep.
are you really what you think you are? And that goes both ways. Because, if you are much bigger than what you are in your head, then you're probably not being adequately valued.
Right. And you're probably not handling this.
Yeah,
their encounters, like with people that you meet who can get you, or
Somebody's gonna figure that out and
They
be
can
like, I'm
see.
gonna take advantage of this guy,
Right.
right? Because
Right.
he's up here, but he thinks he's down here. Well, in between that, I can make my money.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you say? What do you feel like got you, or would you say being humble helped a lot with kind of the things that kind of entered your life as you followed and pursued your journey?
I mean, I've always kind of like, I don't really try to answer when be like, man, you're a humble guy, or you're a nice guy. I don't really try to answer that. I just do what I do, and I love what I do, and the rewards or whatever comes my way is whatever comes my way. And I feel like the universe will adequately
Yes.
give you what you deserve.
Absolutely.
So boots on the ground, do the work. Nothing is owed to you, but whatever comes to you is what you should be getting.
I like that. And I could sense that from you. The day I met you, I went to, I first moved here. The week I moved here, I went on Instagram, I DM Chase, Earl. They invited me to that Revolt thing that on Chase's birthday. Ran into DJ Phon, and instantly, I'm big on energy. I'm someone who checks my ego daily.
Yeah.
Am someone who believes in that what comes to me is for me. And I ran into DJ Phon, and I immediately, when you check your ego and constantly check yourself, you can encounter and meet other people who you can kind of see it without them even saying. And humble, you don't want to say, "Oh yeah, you're humble. I'm the nice guy." You just kind of, humble is an action. It's not words. It's the way you move. So I could just tell by body language and meeting you, I was like, man, this is someone who's keeps an enthusiastic personality, and it's got to be checking his ego continuously every day.
I appreciate
So
that. Appreciate that.
you keep that going. You keep that going for sure, man.
Yeah.
Who are some of the biggest people you've DJ'd for, and who's like probably your favorite person that you have done work with?
Oh man, I've worked with a lot of people.
There got to be some favorites.
Drake has got to be up there.
Ooh,
He's
I didn't
worked
even
for
know
like
that.
all my favorite artists, bro.
Yeah. Travis's energy is insane.
Definitely.
On the EDM side, I've done shows with legends like Tiesto, and that's a household name for dance music. I've done shows with Steve Aoki, and
Wow.
I work with Cardi B. I've shows with G-Eazy.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You can name a lot of people, and I've done a show with them.
How does the DJ like that's up and coming get to where you are right now? Because you work on all these people, it obviously didn't just come overnight. So
No.
it was steady.
Uh-huh.
It was steady incline. And what was that breakthrough moment that your first real big?
I mean, I got into a big club, and
Was that Bottle Blonde?
No, it was the Clay Group.
The Clay Group. Yeah, that's
That's
a big,
crazy.
That's a big.
My friend manages all that shit.
Yeah.
They're huge. They're huge.
Yeah.
They're even outside of Texas too. I'm pretty sure they have a Clay in Vegas, right? Or
I think they're starting to expand.
They're expanding now. Yeah,
Okay.
they'll be in Dallas and
You know this guy named Lucas?
yeah.
That's my
Lucas,
guy.
Yeah, Lucas manages Bisu.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
that's
guy.
my
That's
dog.
my guy.
My dog. Lucas, if you're listening, CMOS gang.
you see,
It's an inside joke.
CMOS gang.
CMOS gang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he knows. I just saw him last night. He was hooping at Lifetime.
For real. That's
Yeah.
my guy. That's my guy.
Yeah, it's my dog.
What times are you getting home at night, DJ Phon? What's up?
I used to get home at 4, 5, 6. I used to.
In the morning?
I'd be in them streets, man.
Yeah.
But
In the
now I try to get home pretty much after work.
Okay.
However long it takes to be at work, and then getting home is the time I get home, which is typically, ironically, 3 o'clock. And I'm saying that as it's 3 p.m. right now.
And when you getting home, like you knocking out, you just shutting off the lights, like
No, that's not really healthy at all. And also, it's near impossible. Any DJ that DJ's kind of like a long day, long night, is just gonna be like, you're probably gonna sit in your car and just be like, oh shit, and just try to wind down.
Dang.
Because it's a long night. How many jobs on this earth is your brain having to actively work for 3 hours straight, and you have to be quick with it, anywhere from 30 seconds to, let's say, 2 minutes if you let a song drag out, or 3 or 4 or 5 or what. But let's say the clubs, people start getting in at 11. You end at 2-ish, right? So from 11 to 2, your brain's got to be on. You got to pick the next song, because you can't let the song run out, and you can't let the song play too long. And you're probably going to have to play, most likely, the parts of the song that people care about.
Jeez, that's
which is like
Yeah.
30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
We all know TikTok. Our attention span is
Right.
fucking like 30 seconds.
Right.
Right? 30 seconds to a minute.
Right.
So for 3 hours straight, you can't do shit except pick the next song and then mix it in. Right?
Jeez.
All at the same time. Shout out to so-and-so. This motherfucker's popping off. Or, you know, hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Hey, I need you to play this. I need you to play that. And then you got to pivot a bunch of different ways for 3 hours straight. And the music's really fucking loud. And you've met, probably by the end of the night, at least 100 people.
Right. Jeez.
Shit is crazy.
Jeez.
Your brain's not going to be able to just turn off.
All right.
Your brain has been sprinting a marathon
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
Absolutely.
He's not going to just be able to stop. You know, like, brain's going to have to decompress. I've got a morning routine and I've got a night routine. Some mornings, some nights, I don't have time, you know, but most of the time I try to implement them and it's going to be stretching and showering, brushing my teeth and walking my dogs. And
Like, what dogs you got?
I got 2 dogs. They're both rescues.
Oh, word. Okay.
One's just a dog. The other, I don't think he's a full-blooded flat coat retriever, but the vet said he's something like a flat coat retriever. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
And how do you keep your creative mind flowing? You know, like where do you find time to really sit down and deep dive into just music? And
I do that on the daily.
On the
on driving. You
Nice.
guys are always, you know, driving. And
yep.
somebody, actually shout out to Mike Anthony. He was posting, he's like, y'all riding your bikes like I don't have to choose the next song. Like, and it's like, yeah. And when you're driving, you motherfuckers, you're on the street. I might hit you because I'm choosing the next song.
Right,
You
yeah.
Get out of the fucking way, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
I like that.
we are always, you know, DJing for ourselves. I would say in some way, shape, or form, I hope everybody's a DJ. I hope music is a part of their life and they're curating something.
sure.
Whether I'm curating something like it's a mood or whether I'm looking for new music, that's pretty much every day, man.
That's nice.
It's definitely a lifestyle. It's a life.
Me too. Yeah, that's for me too. I'm a big musical nerd, man. I just
Yeah,
love music, you know,
yeah.
from all times, all eras. You know, it all plays a purpose in my life. Music is just
Yeah, it's cool because the more you know music, the more you can kind of play with it, right? Like, you know, and we'll bring it back to the day you were at Chase B's birthday party, and Rogers did "A House Is Not a Home" into what's that Kanye Jamie Foxx song?
Gold Digger?
No, she says she wants some Marvin Gaye, some Luther
Vandross.
Vandross, a little Anita. Fuck,
I forgot the name of that song
Brain
too.
fart.
That's a classic though.
Yeah,
I don't know. I forgot what it's called though.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And he
Let me
did "A
find
House
out.
Is Not a Home" into that, and I was like, oh, this motherfucker, yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah,
That's
Rogers. This is why Rogers is the GOAT.
So that was where I was gonna go. Musical intelligence has a lot to do with DJing.
Absolutely, right? And maybe if people didn't know that was the sample, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now they know.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, DJ put them on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know,
100%. I would say one DJ out here who, man, when he spins, he's literally playing every track that I listened to, like, growing up. And I would say Rich Life Stone.
Stone. Shout out to Stone. It's my dog.
Stone, man, he's bro, when I'm talking about, I remember that night when I went to Hard on Chase's birthday, this man was playing some old Wiz and Dom Kenny from the West Side One. Like,
This is why so many people fuck with Stone, because Stone has the deep cuts on everything. And, you know, like, the shit that you might have thought that only you listen to, Stone knows it.
And that was where I was, and that's the exact truth.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those DJs where it's like, dang, you know that track? And then the fact that it's playing in this atmosphere,
Yeah.
like, that was, and
you made it work, you know, like,
yeah. Musical intelligence is big.
absolutely.
That's what's up.
Absolutely.
I think the song is called Slow Jams. Is it
Slow Jams.
Slow
That's
jams.
exactly
That's
it.
it. That's
Slow
it.
Jams, yeah.
That's it.
There you go.
Jams.
So
Sorry, brain fart.
what motivates you, Phon? What's your motivation? Like, what's getting you to wake up every day, brush your teeth and take on the day with, stride?
I always want to be better today, tomorrow, than what I was a couple days ago, a couple years ago.
When did that start? That mindset kind of start.
Well, it all first started was with, I think I can do this. Then you kind of start doing it and making a living off of it, and you're like, oh, this is a form of kind of like positive feedback. You know, I get paid to do this. It means I'm not just some random guy, right?
Right.
You know, I get paid to do this.
Correct.
I am being affirmed, right? And so once you kind of get to the point where you're like, oh, well, if I get better, I could probably get more money. And I'm not, and to be honest, while money is a motivating factor, these days as I get older, and I just turned 30 in July. You guys might not, you're not going to know that. I just turned 30.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even go there. I was going to ask the age, but I couldn't.
Nobody fucking knows how old
He looks so young.
You can't tell.
Yeah,
You
Asian
can't
no
tell.
raisin, baby.
You can't.
Black don't crack, Asian no raisin. You know what I'm saying?
What month was your birthday?
He said July.
July 13th, 713 day.
713. What's that make you? Leo?
I'm a Cancer.
Cancer. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't understand all this kind of shit about
Man,
Cancer.
it's real, man.
It's not really me.
I believe
Hey,
it.
I believe in it, man.
I believe
My
in
mom's
it.
a Cancer, by the way. I know a lot about cancers.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm not exactly how everybody thinks I am, but yes, 713. That's when I was born.
That's a surprise.
92.
That's a surprise.
But yeah, I guess at a certain point now, I kind of see life a little differently, especially in the past year or two.
Money's not the main factor that's really kind of pushing you every single day.
No, it's like achievement. Like, what can I do in this one life?
Right.
You know, I read books, hear podcasts about, this kid gets bullied, grows up poor, parents shoot themselves, and he puts himself through middle school, high school, and then goes to the Navy, becomes a Navy SEAL, is done being a Navy SEAL, opens a huge business, multi-million-dollar, is done with that, sells it off, wants to be a doctor, becomes a doctor, and he's like 40.
That's a lot of time.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
Damn.
like all those things, maybe in most people's lives, they wish they could do one of those things, right?
Yeah.
And he's out here doing everything.
That's crazy.
What can I do in my one life?
Right.
What can I do? How many people's lives can I change?
Wow.
And the more I can do, I don't want to say happy, right? Because that's not really that's kind of like an endless kind of pit kind of thing where if achievement is your happiness, you'll never be happy because you're always chasing the next achievement. It's like the daily grind is my happiness, and what I can achieve in this life is kind of what I want to find out. It's a constant exploration.
Right.
So that way
like
there's not like a particular goal, because you'll notice this in a lot of high-level athletes, like Olympic athletes even. They'll get their gold medal, and then they'll be depressed,
Yep.
right? Because they spent their entire life
Yes.
chasing one goal, and they hit that goal, and
Right.
then they're like, I'm done.
And the Olympics are only about every
In 4 years.
4 years. Yeah. So
So in your life, you probably got a couple runs at it, right? And then if you hit it, you're like, I did it.
Yeah.
What am I going to do now?
right.
And then they get depressed because they no longer have a meaning in life.
Yep.
Yeah. So I try to stay away from a singular goal, but rather maintain a positive, consistent lifestyle and grow daily.
Right.
And try to achieve as much as in my head I can achieve.
Right. How'd you kind of basically filter out the people in your life for more people who would support you towards where you're going? Did you kind of like have to lose a lot of friends?
I don't know if I have a lot of acquaintances, tons, right?
Acquaintances.
And this is something I learned on. You can have a lot of acquaintances, but you're probably not going to have a lot of friends. I grew up not having a lot of friends, naturally. But I knew a lot of people. I've always known a lot of people. I'm a people person. I know, I don't want to say I know how to deal with people, but I know how to interact with people.
Right.
Yeah.
You could tell quickly when someone can and cannot, and when they have that ability.
Right. And so for the most part, the people in my daily life have been around for years.
Right.
Years. And the people who maybe have phased out of my life, whether their life has changed or my life has changed, are still my friends, and I still keep up with them. They say after I think if you're friends for longer than 7 years, you'll probably be friends for life. And most, I'd say 95% of my friends are friends for life.
I like how you said acquaintances.
Yeah.
There's a difference between friends and acquaintances.
Absolutely.
And that just is the level of until you can identify that, you're gonna have a lot of issues with people that you interact with.
Yeah.
There's a certain way you communicate with acquaintances and your friends. Yeah. And once you can get comfortable with the two, a lot of things get answered in your life.
Yeah, because, just lately, really since the beginning of the year, you meet people and you try to be very kind to them and offering, and then you start finding out, some people are good at playing the game and getting what they want, right? Mm-hmm. And so you give them what they want, you give them what they want, and you give them what they want, and you realize you're not getting anywhere similar to the amount of energy that not that you ask for it back, but when you just want to interact with them in a friendly way, you realize that that's not there, or it's not even close to there.
Yeah.
Right? And so your energy has been drained, and they are not putting energy back into the tank for you. So that's a leech.
Yes.
There's no other way to say it. That person is a leech.
Right.
That thing or activity is a leech. Mm-hmm. So you need to start addressing, and this is checking in with yourself daily.
Yep.
Start checking what is adding to my life. Because you obviously, as human beings, we are putting out energy, right? Mm-hmm. So what is adding to my energy, and what is taking away from my energy? And so what is, at the end of the day, good for me? And you always need to evaluate that, because one day you might wake up and be so drained and so unhappy and so mad at the world that you just all of a sudden are lost. And that's just because you've lost the path. So you are lost. Get your ass back on that path.
Right.
Start cleaning up your life.
Right.
Start,
Is that day, something it was supposed to be called for you that day. That day that you were defeated because you were overindulging in something that wasn't adding value to your life. Yeah. I like how you say that, because that's something that you do on the daily. Am I correct?
Pretty frequently.
Pretty frequently. I'm doing that on the daily for myself, personally.
Checking in with yourself?
Yeah.
Just how he's waking up in the morning and talking about what is adding value and taking. From the first thing, I feel like the thoughts that you have in the morning, those are real thoughts.
Absolutely.
Those are the most vital thoughts you have throughout all 24 hours of your day. Is the first ones when you open your eyes.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna walk in line through the day. I'm the first moment of the day, I'm already thinking about what's adding value to my life because it's gonna depict on how I feel that morning. You know, so constantly checking out what's adding and what's taking away from my life. If you're doing that on a daily basis, when you realize that something's bad been taken away, you'll stop at that moment. You'll stop it there.
Or you should.
You should.
You should.
Yeah.
You should stop it there.
Yeah, you should stop.
Yeah.
And I love conversations like this because people, you know, social media and looking behind a screen, you know, you feel so close, but you're so far away. You're so far away from that person on how they think because you have to constantly uplift yourself all the time. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You got to be your biggest subscriber. You know, you got to be your biggest follower.
Yeah.
And that comes with you waking up in the morning and uplifting yourself. First thing in the morning, you brush your teeth, you look in the mirror. You know, check yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so I like that.
Two things I wanted to ask you or go back to that you touched on.
Sure.
One, do you have a set amount of money that you want to reach in your life? And two, if there's something that you could change in your 20s, is there anything you would change?
All right, first the money thing, right? If I made as much money as I did today for the rest of my life, I'd probably be pretty happy. Do I want to make this the rest of my life? Fuck no. Not even close. I'm trying, I don't know. Sky's the limit. If I could walk out and my living room is a waterfall and
Right.
red silk carpets and gold and glitter and diamond everything, cool, right? Do I really want that? No. But if that's the amount of money I have in the bank, cool, because that means I can do something with it. Right? Money is gonna help facilitate things for you because we live in a world based on money, right? Anybody that says you know, money doesn't buy you happiness, probably doesn't either have enough of it, right? Or probably has too much of it. But anybody, it buys you comforts. It buys you time, right?
I agree.
You know, it like, and it, yes, there's a finite amount of comfort, right? Because, okay, this is a nice, it's a jiu-jitsu shirt. It's a nice brand, right?
You also have a nice watch on. It's just
I do have a rollie on, yeah. For anybody
that was clean as fuck.
I got a sub. Growing up, the Submariner is an iconic watch.
Absolutely.
It's my favorite watch. It's clean. It's simple. It's balanced. I roll without a date because I think that Cyclops messes up the face.
That's very
the balance
nice.
of it.
That's very nice.
Right? And so I appreciate what it is for like the art, but also it was a reward to me at some point in my career where it was like, I can afford this. I've always wanted this. I'm going to buy that because every time I put it on, something about that feeling when that really first touched my wrist.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to say, nah, I'm going to fucking chase, you know, not that I would ever buy Richard Mille because I think they're hideous, but
I think they're hideous too. Sorry, man.
But, you know.
I've never seen one up close. I don't know.
Hideous.
I mean, you just need to see a photo if you see.
But I like that one.
If you see, yeah,
I like that one.
That's a vintage
I
one.
like that one.
Submariner is a vintage
So,
one.
yeah. So,
I like that one.
yeah, back to the money. No. Is there a specific amount I need? No. If I make what I make now for the rest of my life, I'd be just fine. Yeah. I know I'd be just fine. I think they say statistically anything more than $70,000, $80,000, that's probably going to change because of inflation. But anything roughly $70,000, $80,000 is your life doesn't significantly like change happiness wise.
Wow.
Roughly, that's what they
Wow.
say statistically.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which I guess to a lot of people, $70,000-$80,000 is like
a lot of money for you know, it's not a lot of money, but most people are making around 30,000, 40,000, maybe
that's
even
rough.
lower.
That's rough. Yeah, I don't know.
I would say around. I mean, what teachers are probably making a good.
I think
I
now
would
they're
say-
making like 40, 50, I think, but that's inflation and stuff, so it still does not.
That's crazy. They only make
Still not
40 to
much.
45.
They're not making much, man. I mean, they may even be making 30. I mean, in some states,
I hope not.
I'm
That's
sure
that's
that
ridiculous.
I hope not.
around. I reason why they don't have a lot of incentives and things for teachers to. I mean, a lot of teachers have another job. So that's where that other income is coming from.
Which is awful, right? Because like you gotta think like this.
My mom's a teacher. I feel like she makes pretty good money. Like, but she's also been doing it for a long ass time.
Does your mom have another job?
Yeah.
Not really. I'm not gonna lie. Not really. Like,
Okay.
she just recently just started like a little side business. But like her like main source of income is like
A lot of
teaching.
teachers,
But she's been teaching for a long time.
Okay.
So
Yeah. That's probably
maybe different benefits. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's good. Like she's straight.
Well, what mostly gets teachers the benefits and stuff. See, that's what I was gonna go with you. When you chase an entrepreneur type of lifestyle, you don't have the type of benefits that they sell you on with all these other jobs. You don't have a 401k. You don't have health insurance.
Yeah.
You don't have these benefits that these corporate or regulated jobs are giving you.
Yeah.
So how do you feel knowing that your career or your path where you want to go doesn't come with those benefits?
But you're also not boxed in either. Like nobody can tell you the specific amount you can make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't
Absolutely.
you can't put a cap on.
Absolutely.
I think one of the worst
make.
things, and I read this in a book, I heard this in podcasts and a bunch of reels, whatever. But the biggest pitfall, I think, if you want to be rich or wealthy, is to equate the time working for money. Like, because time is finite, right? You got 24 hours in a day. You got to sleep like 8 of them. You got daily life. So that's like 4, right? And we typically work 8 hours a day, right? That means you can only make money 8 hours in a day. That's finite. And so people who are wealthy and rich, their business model does not involve time. Because time is finite. Right? The amount of time that you put in and work is like finite. Because you have to do other things.
Right.
Right. So yeah, and so when you say like, yeah, but for entrepreneurs there's no box. Correct. Right? And that's why most wealthy people are somewhat in some way entrepreneurs.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Time and society has confused us that time is how we make money.
No, that's awful. That's why most people in society are quote unquote broke or not wealthy. Or not the 1 or 0.1 or 0.001%, like.
Right. But then again, it's like teaching's not going to be most people who are teachers, they're not doing it for the money.
No.
Yeah, they're not.
They're doing it because they have a natural knack for inspiring and teaching others.
But then at the same time, then you can't complain about the amounts of money you make. Or I want to make more money. I want to make more money. You chose your profession.
I sell health insurance. Yeah. I'm a health insurance broker. I've sold health insurance, but however, the company that I worked for, I make more money. They've offered me to train, and I became a trainer for the company. However, I make more money on the phone selling the product than actually teaching it. But I would say, you know what? I'm not going to take calls this week. I'm going to train this class. The reason why I would train the class is because I actually like teaching.
And that fills your emotional tank, and then you can go back to being a better salesman. I mean, yeah.
See? That was it. And that's exactly what, and after I would train that class, after 2 weeks of training, they get on the phones. I see them selling. Now I go back to selling. They just motivated me. Now, not only did I just motivate me, that shows you how damn good I am. Because not only can I sell it, I can teach it.
So now, hey, company, you want me to train these guys because you like me being a trainer? Give me a certain percentage of their sales. Right? Because now you've expanded, and now no longer is your time on the phone equating to money.
Yeah.
Right?
And now you have leverage. And now you learned your value.
Yeah.
And the way to get there is continuously checking yourself. See, when I would go into work, I was already checking myself before I got into work. I would throw my ego out the window. I don't care what was going. See, that's the biggest thing why people don't see the fruits of their labor. You don't get the fruits of your labor because you're too busy focused on the outcome. But there's steps to take for the outcome to feed you at the end of the day.
The outcome is never guaranteed.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, you should just do the work, and obviously this goes for more like entrepreneurial stuff and people who kind of grind daily, but like you should just put the work in, and then whatever comes.
Right.
And you should put the work in because you enjoy the grind.
So
What was the second question?
Oh,
in your 20s, what do you regret? If anything, if you do regret, or would you go back and change if you could?
Probably not buying so much, like, because now I'm kind of experiencing things in a different way, but probably not buying so much material shit. Because, all right, so something personal. My grandmother just passed away, and she was old, and she was sick, and we knew she was gonna. No, thank you. But she was gonna die. You know, like you knew, right? And so, a very pivotal moment was, you know, they ask, you know, well, we're gonna take her out of the house. Does she have any like jewelry or anything on her? Because that would kind of maybe make things complicated. And they're like, no jewelry. And it clicked in my head. When you die, nothing that you own is going to go with you into the next life. When you come into this world, you come with nothing. When you leave this world, you leave with nothing. And so a lot of my life, I would buy nice things like Supreme or whatever, and spent a lot of my money, and yeah, it was wasted. A lot of it I could resell and whatnot. But I think if I just saved a lot more money, and this is not to say, you know, like I'm not happy with where I am in life, because I really am financially, and my assets and stuff. I'm happy with all that. But I could probably stand to take a couple more nights off of work, a couple more weeks off of work to go travel or to go do this. Because let me remind you what I kind of said earlier. Money can buy time, right? Say you want to take a vacation, right? And you saved up extra because you didn't buy that Dior shirt, or you didn't buy that Louis Vuitton wallet or whatever, right? And then you put that $1,000 away. And I'm just spitballing numbers, but you put that $1,000 away, and there's a gig that you have to do that you're like, hey, it's $1,000. One scenario is, fuck, I need that $1,000. Two is, actually, I put that $1,000 away, and there's a really cool concert that I really want to go to. Let's say Drake does OVO Fest somewhere, and this is the last time he'll be performing. And, oh, yeah, I saved for that. And I get to go experience my favorite artist at the last time he'll ever perform. And so, you know, you walk away with that memory, right, of going to that, and Gordon can be like, yo, were you at that festival? You were like, yeah, hell yeah, I was at that festival. And they're like, man, that's never going to happen again. And they're like, yeah, good thing we were there.
Right.
Versus, fuck, I had to work that gig. Couldn't go to that. I didn't get to experience that.
Right.
You know.
So you would say, you know, put something aside. You know?
But yeah, and I did put stuff aside. I've always put stuff aside, but put more aside because, like I said, you know, money can only buy you so much stuff, right? Like, you know, I got nice clothes. Like, is my Balenciaga shirt that much nicer than my jiu-jitsu shirt I'm wearing right now?
Right.
This jiu-jitsu shirt was like $30-$40, and that Balenciaga was like $600. Is it that much nicer?
Right.
No, it's probably the same cotton. Right?
Yep.
The same threads, the same whatever, right?
Absolutely.
Maybe the style's a little different. But I'm not sure if wearing the name Balenciaga would bring me as much joy as having that extra couple $100 to go take a trip to Austin and go to lake, or fly to Tennessee to go hiking for a couple of days.
And I was big on, I was just having this conversation with my mom, because you know, a relative passed away, older relative, and basically me and my mom were having a conversation. Is when death comes upon you, it really depicts to everybody how you lived your life.
Yeah.
It shows where you spent your money, how you save, right? Because if you have kids and you die, you know, you want to leave something for your kids to at least bury you, at least get you a nice ceremony. And there's people dying, believe it or not, with no money to give their kids to even bury them, even get them a coffin, even give them a ceremony. That shows you how you lived your life. You can hide behind your closed door. At the end of the day, integrity is what you do behind closed doors, who you are behind closed doors, but the doors will open. The day you die, everyone is going to see how you lived your life. They're not going to see anything else but what you left. And that's why I don't want to overindulge in buying materialistic things, because that's not really, I can't give my kid a Balenciaga shirt. The hell's he going to do with that? You know, it's not going to do nothing for him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, Balenciaga's going to keep dropping. That's going to be an old release from seasons ago. Nobody cares about it. And now my kids are sitting there with $10,000 with nothing, and there's a $10,000 payment for them due to even bury me. And that is why the way you live your life is very important to the people, you know, what's left behind.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Man, I hate to wrap this up, man.
Right.
We got literally another person coming in, so
Okay.
I just want to say thank y'all for both coming on.
absolutely.
It's been a great episode, man.
yeah, for sure, man.
Learned a lot. I feel like I'm always learning, man. Like, you come on, you teach me stuff, and he's taught me a lot of things since he's been on. Like, I just be listening, you know, because I listen to podcasts too, but sometimes when you have people who come on and have like a good insight about life, and you're kind of, you know, they're kind of successful, you kind of take advice from them. So I appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having me,
I appreciate you for putting this together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fan of
Y'all,
experience,
man, y'all like, subscribe, comment, fuck with me.